You are not behind. You are being rerouted. Welcome to Energy Alignment for Entrepreneurs, the podcast helping entrepreneurs be free from anxiety, stress, and tension through balancing emotions and consciousness expansion. 3 things you'll discover today. How spiritual detours serve deeper timing. Why comparison is a lie of the mind. And what to do when your life doesn't look how you had expected. We'll begin with the quote. If you're not behind and you're being rerouted, how can we allow for this rerouting to take form naturally? Whereas being behind is some form of a conclusion that we have came to. But can you question the conclusion and how you got there? Because when you bring a healthy dose, not too much, not too little, the right amount, then you'll be able to let yourself be rerouted instead of trying to change, trying to catch up. If you are where you're meant to be, but you feel like you're behind, how can we change our relationship to who you are and where you are whilst aligning with the essence of truth? Because the conclusion, the idea of being behind, it will bog you. It'll weigh on you. It'll actually keep you behind. That's the tricky, funny, hard part to understand, is the world works in that manner, right? It's like in the Bible, you ask and you shall be given. Why? Well, because you had the courage to ask. But if you accept that you're behind, well, then you will be behind. So there is this balance of learning what you need to understand by feeling whatever it is that makes you feel behind. Whatever category of your life is weaker, then obviously there's probably some work to be done. But the manner in which the work is done is the most important fundamental. I was listening to a random video last night, and the guy, he was speaking about, when you dust, do you pick up the tissue box and dust under it, or you just shortcut and dust around things? When you're washing dishes, do you just wash the dishes and then leave the crumbs or the food in the drain? Or do you, whether you have a garbage disposal, do you put it down into the trash, or do you turn on that disposal? Do you do things to the best of your capability, or do you just try to get by? And this is a balance. I'm not saying you're competing with yourself. I'm saying, can you feel when you're considering doing things that keep you behind? And this isn't, what I'm saying is not to aim you toward any form of ideology or perfection. It's just letting yourself be rerouted. That's what we're really talking about. The shifts that need to happen to let yourself be rerouted. You need to be aware of the way that you think. You need to notice how entertaining certain energy, certain forms of thought which create energy. You have to be kind of really in tune with listening and observing and just learning through watching your vibrational states and how you built those. So rather than going into examples, I can feel it. Like part of me wants to go practical. Another part of me knows that's when you lose the flow. So ultimately, we'll get practical naturally. But 3 things you'll discover today. Number 1, how spiritual detours serve deeper timing. Now, we'll take an example, a structure in my current life where I'm building a business and I'm not doing it by myself. So there's another individual involved. What we're having right now is a great spiritual detour where I realized something in the contract we had is totally skewed, leaving me in a place of kind of barrenness. And all at the same time, I know that I have to go about communicating this in as smooth and detached of a manner as possible. So we get this spiritual detour where I communicate something that I see so clearly needs to change, and it's not anything super, how do I put it? It's kind of cut and dry. It's numbers, it's statistics, it's details within a contract. Now, the deeper timing here is me realizing the response of my business partner was so much. I wouldn't use the phrase not had I expected because I didn't expect anything, but it is bubbling up other spiritual, deeper, emotional weight that has been in her being for a long time. And now I channel the awareness of her response has little to do with me because the manner in which I communicated what I have communicated was confident, clear, and aligned. But the reciprocity from her is not there. And I fully realize that me getting angry or forcing or list all the weaker things that my mind could jump to. I can see it, I can feel it, that that's not going to add any fruit to this situation. So there are these detours that will happen in your business, in your family, in your career, in your body, where you have to be able to zoom out, not in this very dual, non-dual, the world is perfect, it's all okay. No, but zoom out in this. All right, I feel something heavy. I'm aware of the inclinations that I may be trending toward, but I can let go of those with the awareness and the wisdom to take the holistic situation into account by feeling the moments of irritation, annoyance, or lower vibrations within oneself. The only way to not share that with the world is to notice it and work through it within. And fundamentally, to have the space to even notice, right? A lot of people, what they do is the space is occupied by weakness. So there's no real pause in terms of doing the noticing, which I'm sharing here. Because what I'm saying is not that these lower things aren't within me, that I can't operate. Every human can operate from every frequency. There's no special humans on this world. Of course, some people may appear special, right? If you listen to the video, I don't know when, but some people may be like, oh, wow, how's this guy speaking the way he does? It's just the amount of work that I wouldn't even use the word invested, rather, but it's just listening to the calling, right? And that doesn't make me whatever. I'm just an average guy who listens to the calling. Now, what's not average about me is that a lot of people don't listen to the calling. But if you can hear the calling, then you have the same capacity as I, vice versa. So, enough of patting myself on the back in terms of, oh, eh, the meaning behind understanding is never self embezzlement. So you could say I'm wise, I don't care. It's not that I am being arrogant or whatever. It's just that sort of bladder it is what it is. It's limited. Now, if you ask me questions, you show me that you're listening, and I really start to see, okay, wow, there are people who are um, taking this calling seriously. Well, then that in itself um, is the best compliment I could ever receive. Is people actually doing the work? I'd much rather have people doing the work than have fools flatter. Yeah. Back to the point of we'll look at why comparison is a lie of the mind. And this is sort of, I could bridge it back into the situation, the story which I was just describing, where I could start to use memory, past experiences to like compare this current state of my business partner's relationship and mine. But in totality, I'm not here to compare to the past. I'm here to understand that she's feeling something, and well, all I can do is do me in terms of being free, letting go, working on what I care about, doing the fundamentals which keep me free, right? You know, if I were to, and see, this is where failure, I'm listening to this audiobook, Outwitting the Devil. And it's basically a account of one man questioning the devil, and the devil is giving confessions. And the point of the audiobook is pretty much how failure is something that will send men into despair. But simultaneously, failure is something which, as the Stoics say, as Aurelius says, as all strong individuals see, it's the failure when you do not quit that spurs learning, change, and revelation. It's the amount of pain which allows you to feel the depths, and if, as above, as below. When you feel the depths, then you're showing life that you're courageous enough to feel the heaven, the fruit. And a lot of us, what we don't understand yet, it's kind of like how to slow down enough to feel without adding to the feeling, right? Because a lot of us, we have this additive thought and we talk fast. In the Bible, in many religious texts, they talk about how the tongue, it gives you away. Why? And you may say, okay, I know I've said this before, but here I am talking. Well, I can't explain to you how many hours I have spoken for on this topic, how many hours I have educated and meditated and looked within, and how this is my whole life, my entire life. The meaning, the purpose behind me being here is just sharing the relationship, the awareness of the things that not everyone may see. I don't know when people hear this, when this is useful. I just know that this is the meaning to my life. And I'm not saying it's the sole meaning, but it is kind of like the fundamental forefront, which everything else sprouts from. Where, sure, we may have banana trees and apple trees, but what are we without the sun? And I think what my life is about is realizing, hey, can you guys feel the sun? How do you feel the sun? And just asking the questions that not everyone seems to ask. Right, because money's important. Other things are important, but what's more important than the sun, right? So we have this opportunity in front of us if you are ever so inclined to feel what the light is and align with the light, then you may share the light. And I mean, I need to repeat this because of the nature of the I and the me, but the light is never accustomed to any one individual. The light is just something that you learn to dance with and be in rhythm with. You almost learn that through sitting in the dark. Then you just get this sensitivity to the workings of the unseen. Maybe not everyone can logically, I don't comprehend half of the things I'm saying. You can feel when things are true. Here's the thing about listening. When you listen free of the thinker, then you have to trust that you'll be able to learn and embody. It's that relationship to the moment that allows you to actually be free. If you're always thinking, like, how can I, then you're in a world of divisiveness because you're centered and you are seeing through the lens of how can I. But when you listen, it's not you anymore. It's just there are words, there's energy, and you are hearing, and you are seeing, and you're observing. And then as you listen to a video like this, you can notice within yourself each moment you hear what I'm saying, you can see and feel what gets triggered within your gut, your heart, your mind, your psyche, your thinking. You learn through the action of watching. You learn through seeing, observing, and watching. I think the trouble is, though, how do we create the space to even have the energy to be interested in such a topic, right? Because the mind wants quick, easy step 1, 2, 3. This is how you do it. You'll get this guaranteed result. But the nature of your essence expanding and changing in this world, being, having revelation come forth, then to operate in that manner is almost, you have to be good at being certainly uncertain. So you understand that you're the king of nothing, but you're still a king. And the realest king ever is a king of nothing. What am I saying? I'm saying obvious contradiction. Can you look at the nuance, the essence, can you learn to read between the lines of the words, right? Because you could, how do I put it? Let's go on to this. What to do when your life doesn't look how you expected. This is exactly it. Where you have these plans, these expectations, and you will create success if you don't quit. But the thing is that what you started working on may not be the thing that you're meant to master. It may have just been part of the deeper time. So you may have to fail for an extended period of time, but you cannot hold the mindset of a failure while failing. You have to have this courage, the strength and power and spirit to have the foresight to realize that all these frustrations, annoyances, and failures, when felt truly without judgment, when you slow your life down to comprehend the subtlest of moments, you will create the life that you expected, but maybe your expectations will have changed. I like to say when I was 17 or 16 or 18, I would never have been able to predict I am who I am. And that was just because I was so used to operating through certain states. In Outwitting the Devil, the audiobook, he talks a little bit about harmonic rhythms. And for me, it's a very similar concept as energetic vibrations, but you will reap what you sow. Maybe you won't reap what you sow in this current lifetime, but you will. And then you have the Buddhist kind of quotes where it's like, yeah, plant the tree that you may never be able to enjoy the shade of. Still plant the tree. It's this next level approach to your life, understanding that maybe your expectations weren't what your destiny had in store, right? Maybe your expectations of living a devilish life weren't meant for you. And so then you have to kind of let your life make itself. How do you do that? You listen to the moments. You understand, okay, there are irreplaceable fundamentals. Like for this guy, for Justin, it's walks, fresh air, clean house, smelling good, groomed well. It's working out, it's martial arts, it's sweating, it's playing. It's writing. It's being simple and straightforward and practical. It's being open-minded. It's learning new skills. It's being kind to everyone who I come across. It's not judging others. It's noticing my own judgments. It's having the courage to accept responsibility. It's not bullying myself when I make a mistake, but understanding, wow, that was a real mistake. I won't do that again. It's this form of, you're precise, you're sharp, you're honest, but you're loose, you're open, and you're balancing both the masculine and feminine no matter which gender you have been born as. That has nothing to do with any weird trans shit. I'm saying that as in naturally a man needs to be in tune with his emotions, and also a lady needs to understand how to make decisions with confidence and being firm. A lady should be able to defend herself, and a man should be able to love and care and be gentle. If you can swing that hammer down with force and also lift up the insects without injuring them, that's what we're talking about. How do you do that? Back to the video I was listening to last night, it's about your heartbeat. And what does everything that I'm talking about come down to? It comes down to the moment. What are you doing in your moments? Can you feel your heartbeat? Can you observe, and then can you change through watching how you're moving, how you treat others, how you feel when you treat others, how you feel when you do certain actions, how you feel when you don't say certain things, how you feel when you say certain things. You see, I speak vaguely because I know you're intelligent. If I just saw you as dumb and dull, I'd speak very simply in terms of do this and do that. I know you're so much more intelligent than needing someone like me to tell you what to do. I'll never be your authority. I'll never be your teacher. I'll always be the man who shares truth. And if you have ears to hear, you will hear. And if you change, then you change. And when our world is doing that, then we see what we have sown. So keep going, keep walking. I'm grateful for you. Thank you so much for listening. If you have any friends, family, loved ones, colleagues, anyone, share it with them. Besides that, if you would like to do this work, I could get you physically ripped. Of course, you will do the work. I cannot snap my fingers for you and change your body. You will do the work. But if you want someone who will be honest, truthful, strong, someone who has your back holistically, someone who won't sugarcoat jack fucking shit for you, but will still be a shoulder to cry on, shoot me an email. I can't work with many people. I got a few slots open, like 3. Prices will be continuously rising. That is not urgency marketing. It's just the truth of the situation as I get older, as I generate more income, as my skills compound, as the snowball works for me. Right? I'm here to watch some birds, observe some squirrels, and sit in the nature and, you know, do whatever else I may be doing. In the meantime, I'm here to support you guys. So if you want to work one-on-one, create a great physique, anything of what I've said, if you resonate with these videos, just shoot me an email. You can also sign up for the emails at justinegliskis.com, but primarily, enjoy yourself. I appreciate you beyond words. Thank you so much for listening. Let's go